enter your attendee ID number, followed by pound. If you do not know your attendee number, press pound to continue. You can join the meeting after the host admits you.
No, it's fine. Go to view. And then let them on.
You'll now be connected to the meeting. Your audio has been muted. Press star 6 to unmute your audio. This meeting is being transcribed and summarized.
You got to star 6 to unmute it.
You're unmuted.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the April 7th Borough Council meeting, Mayor and Council. And this meeting is held in order.
This meeting is being recorded and summarized.
And it's being recorded and summarized for those of you who know it. But it's held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-3, with adequate notice to the two borough newspapers and published on the borough's website. Public comments will be held pursuant to Article 4, Section 2 of the bylaws. The presiding officer shall limit such discussion to no more than 3 minutes duration. Ms. Antonizzi, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, Council President. Councilman Benjavanga?
Here.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Here.
Councilwoman Mott?
Here.
Councilman Smith?
Here.
Councilman Bullock?
Here.
Council President White?
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Councilwoman Mott.
Lord, we thank you for all of our many blessings, and we pray that you keep us all healthy and safe. Amen.
Ms. Antonizzi, could you take us through a review of the agenda for this evening?
Yes, Council President. This evening, we have the approval of council minutes for March 17th and March 25th. We have the public hearing for the release of a performance bond posted by Aros Development. There are 3 proclamations. There is 1 ordinance on for a second reading by title. There are 3 ordinances on for a first reading by title. We have 26 resolutions. However, we have the addition of 2 more. One is numbered 25-158, authorizing a 2025 temporary budget amendment for $2,334,205 in the current fund and $81,538 in the sewer utility and $47,850 in the pool utility. The other resolution we're adding is resolution number 25-159, approving settlement of challenge to the borough's prospective need calculation of affordable units. We then move on to 3 matters of correspondence. Payment of bills totaling $7,378,435.87. There are 5 executive session matters this evening, and we conclude with council reports. And that's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. May I have a motion to add resolutions 25-158 and 25-159?
So moved.
Second.
So Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Wallach. Amy, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President White?
Yes.
And that passes 6-0.
Council comments on any agenda items?
None.
No, Madam Sir.
Okay. I'll open it for public comments, keeping in mind that you have a 3-minute time limit duration for your comments to address the mayor and council. If you'd like to step forward with any comments and state your name and address, please. Mrs. Boyle.
Debbie Boyle, Van Fleet. Happy birthday, Council President.
Thank you.
And on March 2nd, which is a Friday, we will have our Mayor's Wellness Health Fair at
Yeah.
May
I'm-
2nd.
May 2nd. Thank you. That's a Friday, and it'll be at the Senior Center. Hackensack Meridian Health Nurses will be providing testing, all various kinds of testing. And we will also have the Environmental Advisory Board, the Green Team, talking about recycling. John will talk about forestry. Debbie and Christina will talk about the Adopt-A-Spot. And this all goes towards our sustainability certification for this coming year. And hopefully everybody can come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Foyle. Any other comments from the public?
I guess this is a chance for me to get up here and say something.
Yes, sir.
My name's Paul Pine. I live at 725 Maple Avenue. I have a problem that I'd like to get resolved that I can't seem to get resolved by the county or the borough. I have a drainage problem because the sidewalks in front of my house are caving in. The top of the sidewalk is below the street line. I had the county engineer come out, and the county engineer says that they can't do anything for me because the sidewalks belong to the borough. The borough, I called the borough, I talked to the engineer. So I talked to engineer's secretary, I'm sorry. Never heard back from him. That was in September. I know they're gonna pave Maple Avenue. The problem is, I've had this problem since I moved here 40 years ago. When the borough had the sidewalks redone and put all the handicap on Maple Avenue, all they did was rip up the old sidewalks and pour new sidewalks. They didn't do anything with the base underneath the sidewalk. Those sidewalks are on silt. The vibration from the trucks going by, everything's settling. The sidewalk is now below, the end of my driveway is below the street. Now, like I said, the borough hasn't gotten back to me. The county said they can't do anything, so it's, you know, it's back and forth. Before I had this problem, when I first moved in, I tried to talk to the borough about it. They blamed it on the county. The county says they can't do anything because it's the borough, so it's tit for tat. I'm here to find out what can be done. Can somebody come out and look at it? I have pictures I can show you. You guys drive by my house all the time, all of you, I know you do, more than once. Well, you could go by there right now on your way home and see, I got Spring Lake in the front of my house and I got Spring Lake in the back of my house. I need somebody to guide me in the right direction to figure out what we're gonna do with this problem.
First question, so you're the corner house on Pine and Maple?
Yes,
All right, and the problem is on Maple?
it's on Maple.
Okay,
It's actually, I'm on the side of Maple and Falk.
you're Maple and Falk, okay.
Right.
So you're on the, you're actually then on
I'm on the Spring Lake
You're on
side.
the Spring Lake side then,
Right.
okay.
That would be the north side.
Yeah, you're on the north side, okay.
My neighbor has the same problem. Not as bad as I do, but he has the same problem. And it's been a problem for years. And I'm not one to complain, but it's getting to a problem now where there's so much water at the end of my driveway. When it freezes in the wintertime, I pull in my driveway and I just slide onto my neighbor's front lawn. It's definitely an issue.
What's your
and-
address, sir?
And somebody needs to do something.
What's your address?
Pine, P-I-N-E,
First name's Paul.
725
725 Maple.
Maple.
Like I said, I had the borough engineers out for 2 hours one day, 2 of them. I have a relative that was the
County or borough?
County.
was the county
County.
road superintendent. And he sent a couple engineers out. And they looked at it and said, there's nothing we can do. There's a bus stop in front of my house. People can't even get on the bus because they gotta step in 9 inches of water. I've got a tape measure that I took a picture holding the tape measure to the street. And there's 9 inches of water today. I just took a picture before I left my house. There's 9 inches of water at the end of my driveway.
Wow.
And it shouldn't be that way. And there's a drain, there's no drains on Maple Avenue from the corner of Falk all the way up to the firehouse on my side of the street. All the drains are on the other side of the street. The last drain is just maybe 50 feet short of Falk, right in front of the fire hydrant. 3 houses away from my house. Now, I asked the county engineer, can you come in with a milling machine, just mill along the curb down into Falk Place so the water can run down that way? And they're like, no, we can't do anything until the borough fixes the sidewalks because my sidewalks are on such a steep angle and now they're below the street. So they have to come up. I don't know, when I called Len's office and talked to his secretary, she told me that I'll relay the information to him and I'll get back to you. That was in September. I never heard from her. I never heard from him. I don't know if he went out and looked at it, because the day I called her, it had just rained. I'm like, listen, all you gotta do is drive by my house right now and take a look at it. If he comes by 5 days from now, it's not gonna be as deep, but you can see the problem because it just rained. And I don't know if he ever went by or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure is my honest answer, and I don't want to make you move more angry, but like, the borough, for instance, Oak Tree Avenue is a borough road, you know, Franklin Avenue is a borough road. Those roads, we've applied for DOT grants. So on those roads, we have refurbished the curbs, we have refurbished the sidewalks. The right-of-way, it's my understanding, is Middlesex County. But why don't you give me your name and number so that I'll try to give you a real answer, and we'll come out to the location and see what we can do. Because obviously, I know I've driven in that area. I know there's a few houses that have pools. I didn't think it was Falks.
I've got the worst one of them all.
You have the worst one of them all.
Yeah,
Right.
you can go by right now, and there's probably a few people that got little puddles at the end of the driveways. I've got Spring Lake in my front yard and my backyard.
Sorry about that, Mr. Pine.
No, it's, you know what, I'm not one to complain about anything, and I wasn't gonna come down here, because every time, I'm worked up now, every time I think about it.
Sure.
You know, everybody always asks me when they drive by, what's wrong with the front of your house? Haven't they even said anything to you?
Right.
I'm like, no, because the county says one thing, and then the borough says another, and they're just passing the buck back and forth. But if I don't clean my sidewalk off when it snows or any other time, and somebody falls and trips, I'm the one that gets sued. They're not gonna
Right.
sue the borough, they're not gonna sue the county.
All right,
Right.
let me do this. Let me get your
Yeah.
number, and I'll give you a call.
Thank you, Mr. Cullen. Any other public comments? Do we have any comments from those online, attending online? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Moving on to the approval of council minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the council minutes from March 17th, 2025, and the executive session minutes from March 2025, as well as the special meeting minutes from March 25 of this year, 2025.
Motion.
Sec-
So Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Benjavanga. Amy, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Yes, is 6-0.
All right, and tonight we have the public hearing for the release of a bond. So, performance bond for Eros Development. Amy, is everything in order?
Yes, it is, Council President.
Thank you. And do we have a representative from Eros? Looks like
Yes, we do.
online, okay.
President of Harris Development is here, Mr. Mayor, and Richard Mongelli is appearing on behalf of Harris, attorney.
Okay, thank you. Everything seems to be in order this evening. So,
Council President?
Yep, the public
Oh.
hearing. We'll open it up to the public.
Evening, everybody.
any council comments?
No.
None.
Now
Okay.
we open it up to the public.
To public comments, please?
Okay. My name is Charles Thielman. I live at 2020 Linden Avenue, South Plainfield. Been working in this town for probably 45, 50 years. Living back here now for about 4. I had a builder, Eros, the one that's here to get the bond back. They built the house behind my lot. We bought it from Mr. Stillo. He started building, I guess it was in June of 2024. And when I moved in, I had bushes all back behind my house, which I have pictures of. And I put the fence in front of the bushes because we were gonna either put a pool in or a patio. We were gonna move the bushes on this side and move the fence back. So he started building, so what we did is we asked him if he could move the dirt back, because he put the dirt right up against the fence. He had a little silt fence there. He didn't answer me, so I went down to Mr. Wolf. I spoke to Mr. Wolf. I was probably down there, I was 8 and 10 times. When I went down the first time, Mr. Wolf called him on the phone. He said, "Is that the drunk a-hole from across the street?" He goes, "No, this is the guy behind you, and he's offering to take fence down if you need to get equipment in." I offered him electric, whatever he needed. I was trying to be a good neighbor, right? Pretty much he ignored me. He said I'd have the dirt moved by Friday. That's what he told Mr. Wolf. So I said, "I haven't seen his survey yet either." He goes, "Well, you don't have his survey." So he goes, "When are you gonna have your survey?" "I'll have it on Friday." This was back in June. The dirt was moved on January 4th, 2025. I had somebody coming out to take the fence down, to move it back, so I wouldn't have to battle with the new neighbors. First thing the new neighbors did when they came over, when they got the house, they go, "Your fence is my property line." I said, "This is what we were trying to avoid." So prior to that, I had approached Anthony, Mr. Arrow's Developers, and I said, "Anthony, you know, I think it's time we have a little chat." I kind of went down a couple of times, we tried to talk a few times, but you pulled all my bushes out, you left your dirt on my property, I couldn't move my fence, I was unable, I was trapped in my own yard here. I said, "What are we gonna do about this?" He goes, "Why don't you go," I'm not gonna say it, "F yourself, you pee." And my wife was just watching in the window, who was suffering from breast cancer at the time and getting radiation, so she didn't need to stress. So first of all, you shouldn't have a builder allowed to build in this town that talks to upstanding citizens that are good neighbors. He's not gonna live there, he's selling it to somebody else. And to talk to me like that after I was a gentleman to him, and you can ask Mr. Wolf, I was down to see him several times, and he kind of was a bully. And now I found out that the house next door on Audubon, there's 2 women that lived there with about 6 children. I found out from a neighbor that he was MFing them, and I'm like, well, that's not right. So somebody had to come down and say something about this guy, because he shouldn't be allowed to build a house anywhere near South Plainfield ever again. And listen, when you come into a town like that, you should respect everybody, right? I got 0 respect, my wife got 0 respect, these women over there got 0 respect, so I don't know what recourse I have. I went down to the police station twice. They said it wasn't a police problem. It was more of a problem that you might get a lawyer to. I didn't want to go that far with it, but it came to a point now where I want to get an attorney, and I'm gonna fight him on it, because he pulled all my bushes out, right? And I said, what? He goes, "Those are Stillo's bushes." No, Stillo had the bamboo on the side. He pulled the bamboo out himself. Bob Stillo had a guy come down and pick all the bamboo out, so he wasn't breaking the township rules. This guy came in, put all the dirt. I have pictures of the dirt, if anybody would like to see it. Here's the dirt right up against my fence on the house. He's got a silt fence. And
Do you mind if I pass this on?
sure, go ahead. And so the variance is 20 feet from my property line. And I told him, my property line goes out 4 feet on one side and 5 feet on the other, because they're all 100 by 100 lots. He told Mr. Wolf that he would have his survey done, and he'd have the dirt moved that Friday. That Friday came 6 months later on January 4th, right after the holiday. They had everybody out there moving dirt all over the place, so. So I don't know what my recourse is to it, but if I can block him getting his bond back, because there's no way that somebody should be able to build in this town and treat people that live here the way they do.
Mr. Rizzo?
I'm not dismissing what your complaints are at all, but what has this got to do with the public improvement that we're talking about here? We're talking about a bond for a specific job.
Public improvements.
Well, I received a letter from his lawyer saying that anybody that has a problem with any building that he did, for his bond to get returned to him, please show up at the meeting. So here I am.
Yeah, so the performance bond is placed for public improvements such as road, sidewalks, curbs, not anything on the property.
Okay.
So it's hard for the mayor and council to not release a bond if everything's satisfactory in the public portion of the right-of-way.
Okay.
You know, legally speaking.
All right. So,
It can't be done.
all right. Hey, listen, I heard bond, and I thought he was gonna get a bond
That's
back
all right.
tonight.
Understand that.
And I wasn't gonna fight the guy in my own backyard, because I told him to come around. I said, my wife's calling the cops now. The police are gonna be here in 2 minutes, and we'll let them settle it. And he told me that. and then walked away, so,
I get your point, it's just legally, there's nothing
okay.
we can do in terms of what we're dealing with.
Well, believe me, I'm taking it legally. I'm gonna take, I have a lawyer already attained, and but I wanted to come to the meeting, and you people should know this, because there's no way that he should be allowed to build in this town again. There should be no way. So, but thank you for your time, and
Thank you.
everybody have a
Yeah.
good evening, all right?
Thank
Yeah,
you. You
thanks for your
too.
comments as well and bringing this to light.
Is Eros on the line?
Yeah, he's on the.
Do you have any comments?
We're on the line, yes.
Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I do. This is Rich Mongelli. I am Harris's attorney. And I think counsel is correct. This is a performance bond question, and I believe we comply and it's appropriate to be released. But I can also say that to all of you, that I have known Anthony Rosamilia, the president of ARIS, since the day he was born, some 31 or 2 years ago. His biggest problem is he's the most polite guy I've ever met. I've been his father's lawyer for 35 years. There was an issue with the backyard, and it hopefully will be resolved. We don't agree with the neighbor's characterization of the events that evening, and we also don't agree with his characterization of Anthony. He is a complete gentleman, and he does terrific work, and he looks forward to doing more work in the community. So
Okay.
that's all we'll say on that.
All right, well, thank you for your comments, and we're not going to get to back and forth here, but you all can work it out on your own. As been stated by council, as well as Councilman Benjavanga, this does not pertain to the bond, so we're going to move forward with the bond, and will be posted on the resolution for this evening. And you're welcome to stay and represent Eros, or you can leave, but it will be voted on this evening.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate the time. We'll sign off. We know you have other work to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Any other public comments before we move forward? Seeing none, move forward to our proclamations. We have 3 proclamations on this evening. The first is Telecommunicators Safety Week, April 13th through the 19th of 2025. Whereas when emergencies occur, the prompt response of South Plainfield's telecommunicators is critical to protecting the lives and preserving property. And whereas the safety of the community is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained by telecommunicators from citizens who call South Plainfield's Communication Center. And whereas telecommunicators of the South Plainfield Police Department have contributed essentially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fire, and treatment of patients. And whereas each telecommunicator exhibits compassion, understanding, professionalism during their performance of their job. Therefore, on behalf of Matthew Pianesh, Mayor of South Plainfield Borough, I proclaim the week of April 13th through the 19th of 2025 to be Public Safety Telecommunication Week in the Borough of South Plainfield in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our borough and citizens safe. And I believe we have a representative from our telecommunications department. Would you come up?
I'm gonna get close to you, Joe.
I'm gonna move a little bit away.
Yes, thank you for the acknowledgement. It's nice to be recognized, especially because oftentimes the job goes unnoticed. So it's really nice to be acknowledged. Thank you.
And we're okay with that. And our second proclamation of the evening is Distracted Driver Awareness Month, April 1st through the 30th, 2025. Whereas public safety includes the reduction of fatalities and injuries resulting from motor vehicle crashes and are goals shared by the Borough of South Plainfield. And whereas distracted driving is officially blamed for 3,308 fatalities and more than 289,000 injuries in 2022, according to the NHTSA. And whereas in New Jersey, driver inattention has remained the most frequent cited cause of fatalities and fatal and injury crashes over.
I need some glasses.
No, I took
Just so
them
you know,
off.
it's small. It's very small.
I have cheaters.
over 7 times higher than the total crashes cited for unsafe speed over the 5-year period of 2018 to 2020. And whereas crash risk is 2 to 6 times greater when drivers are manipulating a cell phone compared to when they are not distracted, according to Insurance Institute and Highway Safety. And whereas April is National Distracted Driver Month, which is a time to remind New Jersey motorists the state's distracted driver law of the state's distracted drivers laws, which include the ban on handheld cell phones and using text messaging by all drivers. And whereas the state of New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety has asked all law enforcement agencies throughout the state to participate in the You Drive, You Text, You Pay Distracted Driver 2025 crackdown. And whereas the project will involve increased distracted driving education and enforcement from April 1st through April 30th, 2020. And whereas an increase in distracted driving education and enforcement and reduction in distracted driving will save lives on our roads. Therefore, on behalf of Mayor Matthew P. Anesh of the Borough of South Plainfield, I do proclaim and support You Drive, You Drive, You Text, You Pay. Man.
I don't want to play.
Don't want to play. Distracted Driver 2025 crackdown, April 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2025, and encourage all citizens of the Borough of South Plainfield to be mindful to increase their awareness of the dangers of distracted driving. That was a mouthful.
No, we're good.
I'll work on a shorter proclamation.
Next time I'm gonna have you read it.
Yeah, so this year we're participating in distracted driving program. In addition to just enforcement throughout the whole month, we received a grant from the state for 100 additional hours of officers just doing distracted driving education and enforcement. So it's great to take part in that. And the state's been pushing a campaign for a lot more enforcement and education over all motor vehicle laws, and we've seen I believe it's a 22% reduction in fatalities for the first quarter. So it's having an impact. So thank you.
And I do have to say that I have seen I can't even get it right. You Drive, You Text, You Pay. I'm gonna have to write that like 100 times on a bulletin board or something. I don't know. It's on Hadley Road. I actually think I just saw it today. So don't text it to myself. And that's what he said. Don't text it to yourself. So thank you, Chief. And our final proclamation this evening is Child Abuse Prevention Month for April 2025. Whereas all have a responsibility as individuals, neighbors, community members, and citizens of South Plainfield to help create healthy, nurturing, and safe experiences for children, And whereas healthy and safe childhoods help produce confident and successful adults. And whereas child abuse and neglect often occur when people have themselves in a stressful situation without community resources and do not know how to cope. And whereas incidents of child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure all families have support that they need and deserve to raise their children in a healthy environment. And whereas it recognizes that a person can, a person can do something, but everyone can do, a person cannot do everything, but everyone can do something. Together we can create change for the better. And whereas effective prevention programs succeed because of the partnership among nonprofits, government agencies, volunteer organizations, schools, service clubs, houses of worship, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas the display of pinwheels, or the planting of pinwheel gardens in April will serve as a positive reminder that all children deserve great childhoods, happy and healthy and safe. Therefore, on behalf of Mayor Matthew Pianesh, I do proclaim April 2025 as Child Prevention Month in South Plainfield. And I urge citizens to engage in activities and strengthen families and communities to provide optimal environments for children to learn, grow, thrive, so that all children have the benefit of a happy, healthy, and safe childhood. And Mrs. Boyle.
I just want to say on behalf of the South Plainfield Suburban Women's Club, we planted our pinwheel garden at the library on April 1st. The pinwheel has become a national symbol of prevent child abuse, and we have adopted that through the National Federation of Women's Clubs, and we have done this annually for many years. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have one ordinance for a second reading this evening, and that ordinance is 2443.
Yes, for number 2343, ordinance of the Borough of South Plainfield to amend Chapter 409 titled Streets and Sidewalks, Section 29, temporary pavement.
Can I have a motion for ordinance 2343?
So, second.
Okay. That was Mott, Councilwoman Mott, Councilman Benjavanga. Are there any council comments for ordinance 2343?
No.
None.
I'm seeing none. Do we have any public comments regarding ordinance 2343? Seeing none. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay. And we have 3 ordinances on this evening for first reading by title. First ordinance is ordinance 2344.
An ordinance amending ordinance 2309 that provides for the compensation of employees of the Borough of South Plainfield and method of payment of such compensation for the years 2024 through 2028 for non-union and committee secretaries.
Thank you. And may I have a motion for ordinance 23?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. That's ordinance 2344, in case you didn't realize. All right. Thank you. Benjavango, Wolak. And do we have any council comments on?
None.
Just one,
Yes.
if I may. We no longer have a secretary for environmental committee that gets paid.
That was changed.
That was changed from the, when we changed it to a committee from the commission.
Okay.
So I don't know why that's, you would have that in here all the way to 2028 when there is no committee
How do,
where they're paid as a secretary.
okay. How do we address that, Mr. Rizzo?
I think that's de minimis, so we can delete that.
Just make an amendment to it.
Okay. So then we'll receive a motion based on amended, amended for this evening? Okay. So again, may I have a motion for the amended version of ordinance 2344?
An amendment being the removal of the Secretary of Environmental Committee.
Motion.
Second.
Faustini and Woolback. All right. And once again, any other council comments? Public comments? Okay. We'll have a roll call on the amended version.
Yes, Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay, all right.
Mr. President, these are introductions. You don't open it up for public
No.
comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're right, sorry. So, the next ordinance for the first reading is 2345.
An ordinance amending ordinance 2325 that provides for the compensation of part-time employees for the Borough of South Plainfield for the years 2024 through 2028.
Thank you. And may I have a motion for ordinance 2345?
So moved.
Second?
Benjamin Mott. And do we have any council comments?
No.
No.
All right. And the public hearing on that ordinance, as well as the others so far, will be April 21st at 7 p.m.
And you'd like a motion on?
Yes, I like motion,
I'd like
roll
a
call,
roll call.
please. Yeah.
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
And that passes 6-0.
Okay. And our final ordinance for first reading this evening would be ordinance 2346.
A capital ordinance authorizing the purchase of 2 police patrol vehicles, fencing, and environmental testing and sampling of the South Plainfield's former sanitary landfill at a total cost of $170,000 in the Borough of South Plainfield, County Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
And may I have a motion for ordinance 2346?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And may I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
That passes 6-0.
And I'll just repeat again, the hearing will be held on April 21st for these ordinances during the second reading. Moving on to our resolutions. I'd like to get a motion to approve Resolution 25-131 through 25-156, and also include the 2 resolutions that were added this evening, which is Resolution 25-158 and 25-159.
So moved.
Second?
Benjavanga and Mott. Ms. Santana, could you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
And we have 3 items of correspondence on for tonight. It is the Board of Health monthly report from March, the Health Advisory Board minutes from March, as well as the S&P ratings report. Next, we have our payment of the bills totaling $7,378,000 $378,435.87. May I have a motion for payment of the bills?
So, second.
Hang on, Wallach. And can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay, and we'll look for a motion for executive session. We have 5 items on this evening. Contractual item, website demo, contractual item block 364, lot 12, contractual item block 85, lot 2, legal, Harris Steel redevelopment, as well as legal redevelopment block 548.01 and lot 1. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman, roll call, please.
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President White?
Yes, thank you.
Passes 6-0.
All right, you have anything for us, Ms. Antonides?
Yes, Council President, just a reminder that the free rabies clinic will be held on Saturday, May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the DPW garage, and pet licensing will also be available that day. And secondly, just a reminder, your annual financial disclosure filings are due on or before April 30th for this month. And that's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. And Mr. Rizzo, please. Do you have anything for us to say? Okay, thank you. Chief?
I have 3 items. I'll go in chronological order here. First, I guess the Stelton Road Safety Audit, which is a project for some improvements to Stelton Road. There's a town hall style meeting tomorrow at Eisenhower Elementary School in Piscataway from 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
It's on the borough's Facebook as well. Second would be the National Drug Take Back is on Saturday, April 26th, right here at headquarters. And third would be the Fishing Derby, April 3rd. That's a Saturday.
May 3rd?
I'm sorry.
May.
May 3rd, thank you. I would have went out of chronological order. May 3rd. So the first 150 children to sign up get a free T-shirt for the event. We're already at 135. So there's still a few in there, but we will take more than 150 registering for the event. So that's it.
Okay.
Progress.
Thank you, Chief. And Mr. Cullen?
Yes, Council President. I just have a few items. In correspondence, you'll see Standard & Poor's has affirmed the borough's long-term credit rating of AA, and they've also affirmed our short-term rating and also provided the same rating on notes that we've just recently sold, but we have not yet closed on. That will be in as correspondence at our next meeting. The winning purchaser is Piper Sandler at a rate point of 2.978 on $8,865,000 in one-year notes. Secondly, I guess everyone has seen the work is going along on the senior center roof, and they're approximately 75% done. That roof work should be completed by the end of the month. Speaking of roofs, we're very close to going out to bid for the municipal roof here. So that should go out to bid, and we'll probably be awarding that contract also in May, and that work should get done over the course of the summer. Going back to the senior center, we received good news today on the borough received a state recreation improvement grant of $91,000. And that $91,000 is going to go for site work in and around the senior center, which will include the parking lot, some sidewalks and curbing. And that'll also start this summer. The lighting is taking place next week at Pitt Street Park and at the South Plainfield Junior Baseball Club. And I anticipate the borough introducing its 2025 budget at our April 21st meeting. And with that, Council President, progress.
Thank you, Mr. Cullen. Councilwoman Mott?
Yes, Council President. So Pete and I, our committees kind of overlap between clean communities and environmental. So I just wanted to remind everyone that Saturday, April 26th is Litter Cleanup Day. Everyone can meet at Borough Hall, sign up in advance if you can, with Christina Narodka over at DPW. And we also still have plenty of Adopt-A-Spots left. They are filling up pretty nicely, which has been really great. And that is all. Progress.
Thank you. Councilwoman Faustini.
Thank you, Council President. A few things I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who participated and volunteered for the Bunny Hop. Again, it was held indoors. Weather did not cooperate, but the kids had a fantastic time, and it really takes a village to make that event, and it was fantastic. So just thanks to everyone who worked so hard on that. Also on recreation, we have T-ball, Teener ball starting this week practices. Games start 4/12. Opening day for softball and baseball is scheduled to be on this coming Saturday. Hopefully the rain will hold out on that day, and we'll have a nice opening day ceremonies for that. There'll be some clinics going on for field hockey, soccer, and cheerleading as well. So if you're interested in those things, please check out Recreation online. We also have spring tennis starting. Legends registration continues. Non-resident registration did start today, so it should start filling up. And I have to say, I do hope warmer days are ahead. Please be reminded that early bird pool registration will end on May 1st. And we have put in place some extended hours to take care of that. So you can go down and register in person if that's your preference. And those hours are posted on the recreation website. And with that, progress.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilman Benjavanga.
I almost said thank you, Mayor. I'm so used to it. First, happy birthday. I just want to say, when you're not used to running a meeting, it's a little nerve-wracking, but you did a good job. Normally Matt is here and every meeting, and when I was council president and you'd sub out, you kind of lose track of your thoughts because you want to make sure you get everything right. So kudos to you for taking over tonight.
Thank you.
And with that progress.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Woolak.
Oh, I'd like to take the time out to congratulate Annie Elizabeth Sensen as being appointed as a junior firefighter. Great thing. Thank you very much for volunteering. While Council President White was reading the proclamation on distracted drivers, I took a picture, felt a little guilty, and sent it to my kids. I just want to remind everybody to put the phone down because that is very dangerous. And you drive, you text, you pay. So just wanted to remind everybody of that, and with that, progress.
And hopefully they weren't driving when you sent it.
I hope they didn't read it if they were driving, let's put it that way.
Councilman Smith.
Yes, happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to see you here. I want to echo what Councilwoman Mott said about April 26th being our spring cleanup. Let's beautify our town. We have a very hard-working environmental committee and green team, and as you all know, I did send you so you understand there's samples. That's all that is. We can talk about that and change that whenever, but they're looking to do this so that they can go now to the silver level. They want to push that, so please read over that. I just forwarded it to our attorney as well. I thought I did last week, but I didn't, and it was in my draft, so I apologize. I want to thank Amy, with the rabies and licensing and everything else that they have at the borough for our dogs and our cats is crucial, so thank you so much for what you do. And Chief, thank you and your department for everything they do. And this Cops and Bobbers, I apologize for that, but it is my granddaughter's first Holy Communion that day, and that's where I will be, so I will not be at Cops and Bobbers. And with that, Council President, happy birthday again. And I would ask that everybody keep our mayor's family in their prayers. In case you don't know why he's not here today, his father took ill, and that's who he's with. But let's just keep praying for the Anesh family as whole. And with that, progress.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. So I'm tired of hearing myself talk, so I'm sure you are. So I'm going to state progress for this evening. So with that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
No,
No,
we're
no,
going
no,
to
no.
executive session.
Oh, that's
Executive session.
We will be
Do
going
we
to
have
executive
anything?
session. I don't
We
think
have
we're taking
anything
any
coming
action.
I don't think we're taking any action.
We're going into executive session. We're not be taking any action, so we will end the meeting from in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
You could just announce there was nothing. We already adjourned.
There were no additional items for this evening. We adjourned in the executive session. Have a good night. Be safe. God bless. This yours? Come on.
I don't know.